This Mercury retrograde, I tell you what now, but hello and welcome to my channel. If you are new, hello and welcome back to my channel. If you are new to my channel, my name is Lorraine, and in this video I'm going to be uncovering Mercury retrograde in Aquarius that we are going to be experiencing as of today. I personally have been feeling the effects of it already. I know a lot of people have, and so we're going to be in this Mercury retrograde in Aquarius until February 21st, and so I want to break down what to expect and how you can make the most of it. But first, a really quick announcement I wanted to make. The winner of the free chart reading from me is Michelle Denslow. So Michelle, in order to get this reading, I'll need you to go contact me on Instagram here and then message me, and then I will go ahead and give you a free miniature birth chart reading. Now for the rest of you, if you would like to be entered in to win next time I do this draw, then stay tuned to the end of this video and I will let you know how to enter. Let's get back to Mercury retrograde. I've seen a lot of people talking about, really when people talk about Mercury retrogrades in general, it's, the stereotypical, inconveniences when it comes to travel, communication troubles, and technology. I have experienced quite a few of those. But that aside, while those can tend to happen during Mercury retrograde, I don't want this to be all like doom and gloom. Really, I use astrology, like I've mentioned before, I use it as a way to improve your life in some way and better your life. And if when you look at the stars and you're like, oh shit, it's Mercury retrograde, I'm just gonna hide in the house and I can't talk to anyone because they'll misinterpret what I'm gonna say, and I can't travel anywhere because it's gonna be just, I'll probably break my phone and then I won't be able to talk to my crush anymore. Oh, now's not a good time to start new projects, so I'm not going to continue with that project that I was working on. I'm just going to wait and hunker down and wait till Mercury retrograde is over and just completely stop living my life because Mercury's in retrograde. I don't want that. Like, that really isn't the approach that you should be having, and so I want to give you some tips and insights into how you can approach Mercury retrograde, which the way I think it is meant to be, which is a way to help you and a way to help you overcome some certain challenges. And so let's get started. So when a planet is in retrograde in a natal chart, then the energies of that planet and the sign that it is in are usually like, okay, I'm just gonna preface this by saying that my Mercury is in Taurus, and right now the Mercury retrograde is happening in Aquarius, which is square mine, and it's kind of a challenge when it comes. I just keep flubbing my words and having a really hard time putting what I'm thinking into eloquent words, which we will get to explaining that maybe what I need to do is not focus so hard on being perfectly eloquent and concise, but that will be difficult for me. We'll get to that. So basically, when a planet in your natal chart, if you have a planet in retrograde when you were born, the energy of that planet and the sign that it is in are kind of expressed more inwardly than externally. A good example of this, I was listening to the astrology podcast, and they were talking about Mars in Aries direct versus retrograde, and they're talking about it in the terms of UFC fighters and how Conor McGregor has Mars direct in Aries, and he goes like full bore like for the first couple minutes, and then he's got no gas left in the tank. He has a very Aries approach to it, and so he either wins really quick or he loses in a really long fight and gets clobbered. And then there's this other fighter, I don't really know UFC, so this is just like verbatim what he was saying, that then when Mars is in Aries in retrograde, it's like this slow, intense clobbering. And so basically when a planet is in retrograde, it is directed more inwardly and it kind of slows down. So I want you to think of Mercury retrograde as a time to kind of slow down when it comes to communication and thought processes and direct that inwardly, which is where I think why Mercury retrogrades kind of happen and what they're trying to get us to do. That's why external things don't go our way. It's just one issue after another, and I think it's because it's trying to get us to focus inwardly on ourselves and our own thought processes and our own communication and our own self-expression. So while this is happening, basically I have a few questions that I want you to ask yourself during this retrograde, you'll have a few weeks to really go inward and examine your own thought processes and your own communication. And I think it would be really valuable to use this time to think about, like, how do you talk to yourself, and how do you talk about yourself? Is that valuable? Do you say things that maybe kind of put you down? Do you say things that do you not say things about yourself that you would like to say? Maybe you need to brag about yourself more, Examine how you talk about yourself, and examine how you talk to yourself that no one hears, and see how that can be improved. And how and what do you think, like, about your life, your perspectives, again, your thought processes? And is there anything that can be learned from Aquarius, which is the sign that Mercury retrograde is happening in? So Aquarius is highly individualistic and just freedom loving, and it loves to be unique. And the other great thing about Aquarius is they don't give a fuck what other people think about them. So there actually could be a lot to be learned from Aquarius, especially because with the pandemic, everyone's been so shut in and has, I feel like more than ever, we have less outside perspective on our lives and less chance of, expressing ourselves the wrong way that people might not like. And so this could be a really good time to examine how you communicate, how you think, and see how you could embody a few of the Aquarius traits to improve your thought processes, your communication, and your self-expression. So now ask yourself, like, during this retrograde, there's these few questions, like, I want you to mull over for the next few weeks. Are there ways that you could allow yourself to be more free and just allow yourself to be more of an individual in the way that you think, in the way that you communicate, in the way you express yourself? Is there a way that you could let yourself say what you want to say without tailoring it to who you're around, or worrying about what other people will think, or worrying what other people will say in response? You're afraid to think certain things, or believe certain things, or have certain thought processes that are different from the norm, right? Maybe if that's you, then Aquarius is not like that. They are not afraid to be, different. In fact, they pride themselves on being unique and going against social norms. So are there ways that you could think and approach, like, in being intellectual? Aquarius loves being intellectual and truth-seeking. Are there ways that you can pursue those things and embody those things so you can come out on the other side of this retrograde being a more free, individualistic person that's able to fully, or at least more able to express themselves how they truly are? So instead of approaching Mercury retrograde as, oh, this horrible thing that happens, it's really inconvenient, and like, all of these bad things happening, like, way, instead of approaching it like that way, which ends up a lot of the time being a self-fulfilling prophecy anyways, approach it in a way that you're able to learn something valuable, and you're able to, like, take this time to go inward, and you're able to learn and make the most of it. And one of the ways that you can examine this on your own is to look and see what house the Mercury retrograde is happening in your natal chart, and then you will kind of see maybe what area of your life needs a little more attention, maybe areas of your life that you could express yourself more authentically. Because, like, Mercury retrograde usually does have an effect. I did not get away scot-free with this one, and it's barely even started, but still, there will be inconveniences, and Mercury retrograde will have an effect. It is usually when it comes to communication, travel, and technology. So while those things may be happening, more often than not, they're usually happening externally. And I think that's the universe's way of telling you that, like, hey, your focus shouldn't be external at this moment. You need to start bringing your focus back inwardly and starting from there, because how your life unfolds externally does really depend on and start from you inwardly. And so if you're wanting to live a more fulfilling, authentic life that is true to you, how do you expect to be able to do that if you are not authentically expressing yourself? And if you're not, thinking and have the mentality of someone who is authentically themselves and does express themselves and is not afraid to be unique and doesn't care about if other people don't like the way they think or the way they talk or the way they express themselves. So it could be really beneficial to be focusing inwardly so that when the retrograde ends on the 21st, you will then kind of have this renewed sense of self-expression and communication and thought processes that are more aligned to you. Because at the end of the day, you can't directly control your external circumstances. You never really have complete control over your external circumstances, in the sense that you can't really help when things go wrong with travel or people misinterpreting you or technology not working properly. But you can control how you react, and you can control the way that you think about things, the way you approach things mentally, and the way that you speak, and the way that you express yourself, and definitely, like to say again, the way that you react. So those are really great things to focus on during this time. You focus on what you can control, and when you're focusing on what you can control, you start to feel like you do have more control over your life. And when you start to really get you in order and aligned with who you want to be, that's when you'll start to see your external circumstances start to align with that. I hope that you will take these questions that I gave to you and these insights and really use them to make the most of this time. And if you enjoyed this video, I will have another transit video coming up about February. If you want a more personalized approach to these though, I am launching a Kickstarter campaign because I don't care if Mercury Retrograde is happening. I was planning to launch. I'm going to launch. I don't give a fuck about retrograde. I mean, I'm a little nervous, but it's not going to stop me. So I am about to launch my Kickstarter campaign, and one of the rewards for backing the Kickstarter campaign is a 2021 video horoscope for the year, and I detail all major astrology transits for the year unique to your rising sign in 12 houses. So you'll get just a really in-depth, personalized approach to these transits and what areas of your life these transits will be expressing themselves. And so it should be really valuable. So if you enjoyed this video and my constructive approach to transits that sometimes may not be super favorable, then definitely check that out. This Kickstarter campaign will be helping support my work with astrology, as well as the making and printing of this 4 elements tarot deck that I designed. Thank you for watching all the way through. As promised, I wanted to let you know about the draw that I do. I'm going to make this a once a month thing. So if you would like to potentially win a free astrology chart reading from myself, all you have to do is subscribe to my channel if you enjoy the content and like what I am doing, and then comment below letting me know that you have done so. When you do those two things, both of those things, then you'll be entered into a draw and win a free astrology chart reading from myself. So I have some more transit videos coming out soon, and so stay tuned for those. In the meantime, that is all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and take care.